Well, we all know who Marilyn Monroe is and how iconic she is for her fashion and her movies. And Marilyn Monroe is undoubtedly the most well-known celebrity from the golden age of Hollywood. And the golden era of Hollywood is from the mid-1930s to the early 1960s. Marilyn Monroe was an iconic figure with an equally iconic sense of fashion. And some of her looks are still super iconic today and have been replicated so many times throughout pop culture and in history. So it is no surprise that we all still enjoy looking back at all these vintage outfits, including myself. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura, and in this video we're going to be ranking Marilyn Monroe's most iconic outfits. And trust me, there are so many classic looks here featured in film and ones that she wore in her day-to-day life. So be sure to watch this video to the very end and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't. And with that being said, let's jump into the first outfit that Marilyn Monroe wore. So the first look that will be featured is called the blue floral dress. So Norma Jean was only 21 years old and she appeared for this picture session to show off her updated appearance. This event happened soon after signing a contract with 20th Century Fox. The world would now know her through her new name, and that is Marilyn Monroe. Compared to her later outfits, this particular one captured the innocence of Monroe, and it was the start of her transition towards the journey to stardom. Even though it still draws attention to her trim waist, the style seems relatively tame compared to the one she would become famous for in the future. The satin gown, embroidered with floral designs and puff sleeves, only helped showcase her natural beauty, while the modest silhouette allowed her star quality to shine through. And I really like this one too because it definitely has like a beautiful, soft, innocent quality to it, and I love like the delicate flowing of the blue fabric and the subtle florals. And outfit number 2 is the famous potato sack dress. The story of how Marilyn Monroe ended up in a simple burlap sack has a few different versions, but the most entertaining one goes like this. In 1951, Monroe attended a party at the Beverly Hills Hotel when people noticed her wearing a dress that was more low-cut, much to the annoyance of a female newspaper columnist. This situation caused Monroe to confront the reporter, who demanded that she remove the dress, describing Monroe as cheap and vulgar, and suggested that she look more put together if she wore a potato sack. Monroe, whose sense of humor most people did not appreciate, took the columnist at her word. 20th Century Fox instantly planned a photo shoot for her, complete with an Idaho potatoes sack and red shoes. She looked lovely, which shocked nobody. According to Monroe, an Idaho potato farmer brought her a sack of potatoes to thank her for the attention. Still, she never ended up eating the potatoes because there was potato scarcity and the boys publicly snatched them all. And I feel like this was like a really cool publicity stunt. It was probably one of the first of its kind. I mean, imagine if a celebrity did that nowadays and someone mocked their outfit and they came and like walked the red carpet in a potato sack. I thought that was really cool and daring of Marilyn Monroe, and I think it really shows her true sense of humor and her willingness to kind of fight back to the press. And next on the list is the flying white dress. While filming The 7-Year Itch on September 15th, 1955, Marilyn Monroe wore a white outfit and posed atop a subway grate in New York City. The wind was blowing up her dress as a train went underground, and Marilyn was being seductive while trying to keep it down. Even though numerous photographers only captured the scenario on film for a few seconds, it became part of some of the most memorable scenes in the history of film. As a result, the tiny white garment is now considered one of the most iconic gowns Marilyn Monroe wore. And there were a lot of onlookers and male photographers taking pictures during the scene because it was filmed on a busy New York City street, and this event definitely made history. Despite this, not a single one of those takes made it into the film's final cut because the noise from the spectators rendered them all useless. William Travilla was responsible for this iconic costume and numerous other designs of Marilyn Monroe's clothes for several other films, including the pink dress in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, which I will be getting to later. Even though William didn't think much of the white dress, referring to to it as that ridiculous little garment. Countless fans had and still are referring to the gown even years and decades later. And it really is one of her most iconic looks. Like even when people do the Marilyn Monroe Halloween costume, it's always the white dress. After Williams' passing in 1990, people auctioned off his costume, drawing for the dress for $50,000. I'm actually surprised it didn't go for more. Actress Debbie Reynolds acquired it in 1971 for $200. That's insane. And she subsequently added it to her extensive collection of movie costumes and props. However, way later in 2011, specific individuals put up the majority of Debbie's collection for auction, and one of the items included was the white cocktail dress. It set a record for the money ever paid for a movie costume when one individual sold it for $5.52 million. Unfortunately, someone placed the winning offer over the phone, and the garment is currently in the possession of a private collector. Nevertheless, the dress's unknown owner has not revealed themselves. Oh, that's crazy that it's still unknown. And next we have the infamous Happy Birthday dress. As a benefit concert for John F. Kennedy and the National Democratic Committee on May 19th, 1962, Marilyn sang the infamous and seductive song Happy Birthday, Mr. President to the birthday boy himself, John F. Kennedy. And this was at Madison Square Garden 10 days before the fundraising event for his birthday celebration took place. After Kennedy's brother-in-law, Peter Lawford, made a few fake introductions during which Marilyn Monroe was not there, and after some of the audience began to question whether or not she was actually in the room, Lawford then ultimately made the proper introduction. She entered the stage, removed her white fur coat, and revealed this beautiful, stunning, jeweled dress, and executed the well-known performance that is still super famous today and referenced in pop culture. Jean-Louis designed and constructed Monroe's dress out of marquesite fabric that was translucent and flesh-colored, with over 2,500 sparkling rhinestones sewn into it. However, the garment was so constricting that seamstresses had to stitch her into the gown. In addition, it was so tight that she also opted to wear nothing underneath so that the fit would be perfect and form-fitting to her body. She did this to intentionally court the scandalous conversation that she knew would surround the dress, and she was aware that this discourse would occur from the performance. It wasn't easy to imagine anyone else besides Marilyn Monroe wearing this dress. I didn't even think this would be possible until Kim Kardashian managed to somehow get the dress and wear it at the 2022 Met Gala this year with the Gilded Age theme. And Kim Kardashian walked the red carpet in Marilyn Monroe's famous JFK dress. And according to Vogue, Kardashian wore the original dress for a concise amount of time, only a few minutes, but any amount of time in my opinion is too many to go up to the steps of the Met Gala. And people are saying, oh, she took great care and didn't damage the garment, but trust me, it was damaged. There's no way around it. Please see my other video because I go into detail. And then she changed into the replica dress for the remainder of the evening. And the time she spent in the Marilyn Monroe gown at the Met Gala was sufficient enough, in my opinion, to damage the dress. And she ended up being the most talked about person of the evening and basically took the thunder, whether it is good or bad thunder. She definitely stole it, and people are still talking about it. And the next dress on the list is the Gentlemen Prefer Blonde's pink dress. This fabulous pink dress first appeared where Marilyn Monroe played the role of Lorelei Lee in the iconic scene. She sings the song Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, and the choreography involves her with several gentlemen suitors in dinner clothes and her in the iconic pink dress. The outfit featured a bright pink bustier combined with matching opera gloves and a huge knot at the waist. The satin stiletto heels by Salvatore Ferragamo, as well as all the diamonds that she wore with the garment. At first, Marilyn Monroe was going to appear in public dressed in a magnificent showgirl outfit adorned with many diamonds. And nevertheless, while filming was underway, it came to light that the general public saw photographs of Monroe's naked body that she had shot before she became famous, so the studio would resolve the issue as soon as possible. They gave tight orders to the costume designer Travilla to design a new outfit that was less exposing, leading to the conception of the pink dress. Designers used peau d'orange silk in the garment's construction, lined with silk and satin and black. The floor-length dress had no straps, a straight neckline, and a side slit on the left side to allow mobility. The enormous bow that adorned the dress was not a separate accessory but an integral component of the garment's creation, with a lining of black satin pleated in the back. In addition, they fashioned the palms of the short pink gloves that came with the dress so that they resembled suede. Finally, Marilyn's diamonds were not natural but rather replicas. Since then, Marilyn Monroe's iconic pink dress continued to show throughout the film industry for several decades. As a result, this iconic dress became a cinematic symbol and has been replicated so many times. In addition, it is frequently replicated by other Hollywood superstars, such as Madonna in the music video for her famous song Material Girl. And this one was released in 1985 and has also been replicated other times in history, but I kind of want to do another video about that. And next we have the famous Niagara dress. Though not as stylistic as the other dresses, this one still has a pretty neat background. Used in Henry Hathaway's 1953 picture Niagara, costume designers Dorothy Jenkins and Charles Lee Mayer wanted something to show Monroe's grace and charisma in her role as Rose Loomis. With that being said, the designers gave her a look that would become legendary. They made two versions of Marilyn Monroe's iconic gown, one in a brilliant red and the other in hot pink. That's why I guess online when I was looking at for photos, I saw two versions. That's interesting. The pink variant they decided would be the best decision, as naturally pink became Marilyn Monroe's hallmark hues since the actress's stunning pink gown in Howard Hawks' Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. This dress continues to influence many designers and fashion firms today. Pink frenzy controlled the decade, from Chanel to Balenciaga. They even connected the hue with feminist groups, which recovered and exploited the girly color. In addition, Chloe, Prada, and Chanel embraced the pink trend for spring-summer 2021, injecting a healthy dose of brightness and femininity. And pink is definitely one of my favorite colors. Many marketed duplicates of Marilyn Monroe's dress worldwide despite having a strictly 1950s cut. They finally finished the style with a pair of high heels for a sleek finishing touch. And what is the last timeless detail? Her golden ear studs. Every summer, this jewelry trend appears to return to brighten our appearances and make us feel like old Hollywood stars. And I feel like this dress is definitely classic. You could easily wear it today and people would think it's a current outfit. And I really think a lot of Marilyn Monroe's clothes are so classic. Like if you saw her walking down the street today dressed in her outfits, I honestly think you wouldn't realize she was from the 1950s and early 60s. And the next look is from the film Something's Gotta Give, and it's her bikini outfit. In 1962, 20th Century Fox was having problems at home with Marilyn Monroe on the set of Something's Gotta Give. In this film, she was supposed to play a homemaker rescued after being stranded on a deserted island for 5 years and returns home only to discover that she was declared legally dead. But again, the film was a remake of the original comedy from 1940. Then, to make matters even more complicated, her spouse recently tied the knot with another lady. Monroe, who hadn't produced a movie in the previous 18 months, was chronically late or gone for days at a time, and sickness was the typical explanation for her absence. Finally, after 30 days of shooting, during which she was absent for 17 of those days, director George Cukor shot around her while recording sequences with her co-stars, but in the end, they sacked her and the whole film was left incomplete. 2 months later, at the age of 36, Monroe was discovered dead of an apparent suicide. And I also have another video about her death if you're interested. It wasn't until 1989 that they rediscovered the material. The following year, a 1-hour documentary allowed us to get another glimpse of the fashionista, providing us with a never before seen outfits, including the simple yet irresistible swimsuit. Though it's a shame that it never got to be shown on the big screen, we are fortunate enough to obtain at least some tidbits about this swimsuit. Who knows how the film would have gone if the studio finished it. That's certainly something I would like to know myself, and you can see all the different little screen tests from her making that film online, and there's some videos on YouTube. And next is her outfits in Korea. On July 27th, 1953, the Korean War was officially over. However, there were still 225,590 American forces stationed in Korea by 1954. Marilyn Monroe took a flight to Korea when she was on her honeymoon with her newlywed husband Joe DiMaggio in Japan. They said that the baseball star was irritated that many people went to see Marilyn Monroe in Japan than him, and he declined to join her in Korea. So it sounds like he was a little bit jealous. They treated the American troops stationed in Korea to a performance by the famous actress Marilyn Monroe in February of 1954. For 4 days, she put on a play that she had put together and named Anything Goes for an audience numbered over 100,000 people. That would be so scary. The film actors conquered at least some of her stage fear throughout the trip, which served another purpose. Her journey to Korea, she stated, was the nicest thing that ever happened to me. I had never felt like a star before in my heart, so I was pleasantly surprised to find another person beaming at me when I looked down. During one performance where they moved the start time back, the audience became agitated and threatened to start a riot as a result. They had scrapped the opening act so that she could take the stage sooner. However, the crowd adored Marilyn Monroe and they had a wonderful time during her appearance. She looked stunning in her big army outfit and her beautiful sparkling one. So she had two different looks. Monroe was at her peak in Korea. She was self-assured, spontaneous, and breathtakingly gorgeous. She could do everything without the guidance of her hired Hollywood handlers or her domineering spouse, and accomplished it all independently. Following her final performance for the 45th Division, she spent a solid half an hour blowing kisses to the crowd. It is undoubtedly the most fortunate event that has ever taken place in my life. My honeymoon with the 45th Infantry Division was an experience that I will never forget, says Marilyn Monroe. Monroe received the genuine outpouring of affection she had always sought over those 4 carefree days, which helped the hundreds of homesick young troops who visited her and raised her spirits. Even though Monroe contracted a severe case of bronchial pneumonia due to her prolonged exposure to the frigid temperatures in Korea, her tour in that country was an undeniable triumph. Oh, and that's so sad that she ended up getting pneumonia. And the next look is her gold halterneck gown. In another outfit that appeared in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Monroe wore a gold lame halterneck gown with sunray pleats and a deep V neckline that made her look stunning. But again, it was for Travilla to prepare her for her role in the film. Although some have only seen the actress wearing the gown for a few seconds from behind in the film, she later requested to wear the garment to the 1953 Photo Play Awards. According to the Telegraph, Travilla declined, stating that the design was far too sensual and flamboyant for actual use. In addition, the magazine said Monroe approached the head of 20th Century Fox for permission to wear the outfit and granted her permission to do so. Monroe's company was deemed vulgar by Joan Crawford, yet the newspaper featured the actress on the front headlines the following day. Go figure, Joan Crawford's jealous of Marilyn Monroe. I feel like she was jealous of a lot of young actresses. And next we have the Silky Satin gown. Monroe wore this stunning ensemble when she walked the red carpet at the premiere in 1954. Although not many know about the designer of this belted dress, the garment was quite similar to the previously mentioned pink dress in her musical performance. The exception, however, was that this one has a more form-fitting silhouette and does not have a bow in the back. In addition to a luxurious stole, Marilyn flaunts white satin shoes and elbow-length gloves made of the same material, with no requirement for any obtrusive jewelry because she was already shining like one. And I love this look on the red carpet. I feel like it's so classic, and again, I feel like I would easily wear this today. And the next look is the evening mermaid gown. When entering the reception of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel with Arthur Miller in December 1956, just after the premiere of Baby Doll, Marilyn stunned everyone with Norwell's iconic mermaid evening dresses, which encased her completely. This gown was made of navy blue jersey and features heavy embroidery in a similar shade of blue sequins. It has a halter style top, a plunging neckline, and bareback. A few months later, she wore the gown when she returned to the Waldorf to attend a party hosted by Elsa Maxwell and was themed April in Paris. Finally, Monroe opted to wear the Floral mermaid gown once more when she struck one of the most audaciously erotic positions of her career for the illustrious photographer Richard Avedon. And dress number 12 is a 1956 black satin dress with spaghetti straps, and this is one of my favorites. Usually when at home, Monroe would often resolve to wear a more minimalist slip dress. And one of these examples is from a party that she had at her California home in 1956. They captured her wearing a dress that by some miracle still outshone her beauty and caught the attention of everyone else there. Anne Green, who was married to the photographer Milton Green, is credited by Vogue with giving Monroe a makeover in 1954. According to the journal, Green commissioned designers George Nardiello and Norman Norrell to construct a wardrobe for Monroe that included pieces from Anne Klein. Green also reportedly purchased clothing for Monroe from them. The result was a collection of black sheaths and slips, sensual but simple and wonderfully in sync with Marilyn's taste. Elizabeth Winder said in her book Marilyn in Manhattan, Her Year of Joy, which was referenced by Vogue, Winder said Monroe had more affordable knockoffs of the couture outfits manufactured after that. And I love this look. I feel like it's super classic and contemporary, and I feel like people wearing this look now, and even in the 1990s it was popular. Even Princess Diana wore something similar to the Met Gala. So I really do feel like Marilyn Monroe's style is so classic. And next we have a River of No Return's yellow silk gown in the 1954 film River of No Return. Monroe appeared in the last scene wearing this asymmetric dress she had worn earlier in the role of Kay Weston. At this moment, she sang the film's theme song. According to Julian's Auctions, costumer Helen Rose designed the dress for Betty Grable to wear in the movie Coney Island in 1943. However, Travilla added the red beading and the back bow to adjust the design so that Marilyn Monroe could wear it 10 years later. Based on a particular auction, they predicted that the gown would sell for between $60,000 and $80,000 in 2019, but it fetched $175,000, more than twice its expected range. I'm actually surprised it didn't go for more considering how much her other dresses went for. And the next look is the Misfits denim outfit. Marilyn Monroe was known as one of the first women and Hollywood stars to show jeans, namely the pair of Levi's in the film The Misfits. And this was in 1961. And this look is still appealing to a broad audience today. Although many have constantly recognized Jean Louise for the stunning gowns she designed for Marilyn, her decisions to focus on a more casual style is not shameful, because not only did she make the pair of jeans famous, but she also wore the denim on denim style with ease, punctuating it with the ideal piece to break up the outfit, which was the white shirt. The jacket was a Storm Rider by Lee, which was a type introduced in 1933. It had a blanket inside and a corduroy lined collar, and many Hollywood actors such as Paul Newman and Kirk Douglas wore this jacket. However, it quickly became the most influential denim jacket when Marilyn Monroe started wearing it, especially among males. This outfit reveals a side of Marilyn that we rarely got to see, that of a tomboyish, typical American girl with a very natural and understated way of dressing, in contrast to her other glamorous outfits in furs, sequins, pink and silver that the public usually associated with her and was used to seeing her wearing. And this look was kind of ahead of its time. She would often mimic off-screen and characterized by simplicity, self-assurance, and modernity in colors that they kept to a minimum. Marilyn Monroe may as well have been responsible for some of the most iconic denim moments in the fashion industry, and jeans are likely the most important garment of the 20th century if you think about it, especially for American culture with like James Dean, Elvis Presley, Marlon Brando. Well, jeans were a symbol of defiance and sexiness in the 1950s thanks to actors like James Dean and Marlon Brando. Marilyn was able to become the feminine embodiment of this style, which was just as rebellious and seductive in my opinion, so she was like the female version version. I believe that her penchant for wearing jeans is mainly responsible for Monroe's status as one of the most significant icons of young culture in the United States. Her ubiquitous image has been a productive force for successive generations ever since her time in the spotlight. And I definitely love all her looks, and this denim one too, she just pulls it off so well. I kind of want one of these denim jackets that she has. I bet you could get some really nice vintage ones. And the next look is her airport chic outfit. Marilyn has been known for her numerous airport outfits that earned her a famous reputation amongst fashionistas, even making herself the name Airport Chic. And this outfit is undoubtedly one of them. Marilyn Monroe was not an exception to the rule that Hollywood celebrities did not appear to do off-duty looks. Many have seen the actress arriving at New York International Airport wearing a plain and figure-flattering dress. She paired it with a patterned coat over her shoulders and was even accessorized with black sunglasses and white shoes to complete the ensemble. And I love just the simplicity of this look. Again, it just looks so timeless. And next we have Marilyn Monroe's gardening outfit. As mentioned earlier, Monroe usually wore more casual and laid-back outfits when she was not on screen or constantly exposed to the public eye, and this picture of her gardening is another great example of it. People who worked with Monroe described her natural sense of style as slovenly on more than one occasion. This sense of style started to give rise to problems at some point. Milton Green was a close friend of Marilyn Monroe and was a photographer. After some time, he concluded that she required a new wardrobe. According to reports, he told her, "You have something that looks fantastic on screen, but you walk around like a slob." He was referring to her appearance. Take Katharine Hepburn, for example. She embodies a particular fashion. You require a particular something that is not a low-cost blonde sex pot via Vogue. Therefore, Green and his wife assisted her in locating comfortable, casual clothing that was still consistent with her image as a glamorous actress in the public eye. According to the article in the magazine, they eventually collaborated with the designers George Nardiello and Norman Norrell to develop an entirely new wardrobe comprising of glamorous outfits that they described as skin tight. But I just love the casual look of this gardening outfit. I do really love all of her casual looks. And the last dress is the old Black Magic outfit. And for this last outfit, we have the dress from the film Bus Stop, released in 1956. Marilyn Monroe wore a tiny green bodysuit covered in a fish scale pattern for this last outfit. They finished the garment with gold tassels, and it had a black tulle train. It was one of the most revealing dresses that Marilyn Monroe ever wore. It was a sultry and alluring image ideal for her saloon performance in the film. Fans of Monroe most likely believe that this was only another dress that the film's costume designers created for her to wear specifically. But as it turns out, there's a bit more to the story than we initially thought. Martin Nolan, the executive director of Julian's Auction, was a guest on Lorraine in 2016 and discussed the significance of the ensemble during the conversation. Monroe did not want the costume to have too much of a fresh vibe. Therefore, it appeared that the designer William Trevilla would construct a new suit for the scene. But according to what he said, she felt that the item should be more vintage for her character. So she searched through the 20th century archives, and that's where she found the garment, as designed by Charles La Marie. Now that's extreme commitment. And that is a wrap for the 17 outfits all worn by the unforgettable style icon Marilyn Monroe. And each of these outfits are so unique in their own way, and it really gives you an idea of Marilyn Monroe off duty as well as her on film. And I feel like some of these outfits will be remembered in Hollywood history for hundreds of years, I hope. And I want to know, which one is your personal favorite that Marilyn Monroe wore? And let me know in the comments below. I'm so curious. And let me know if there's any outfits that I failed to mention in the video in the comments below. And make sure to comment on all your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys later in the next video. And let me know if there's any other movie stars you want me to rank their outfits. All right, bye guys.